We briefly present tips for the evaluation of visual thinking resources and strategies. Teachers, we always face the challenge of what and how to evaluate the productions of our students. This uncertainty increases when our teaching learning strategies are new. Well, what is new tends to be a verb of action, of executing new methodologies, but that many times they are not analyzed, nor is their effectiveness evaluated. And how to evaluate visual thinking productions. From my teaching experience, I can highlight two moments and two different types of evaluation. An initial moment, prior to teaching. What is the evaluation of educational resources? A final moment, but whose evaluation must be summative, encompassing the process and the final production or learning result of the student. In this presentation we will show instruments to evaluate those resources and those productions. The evaluation of educational resources or applications, we must take into account those that are optimal for the development of our didactic strategy, in this case, for visual thinking. The image represents the adaptation of a tool developed by me and published in 2014 for the suitability of online resources on cultural heritage. The adaptation shown is a summary of the criteria that we must take into account when checking this type of applications, which are truly educational and practical for the didactic purpose that we want. Technical criteria are, such as usability and easy handling, effectiveness and efficiency of the platform, as well as knowing its educational potential. The didactic criteria, that the objectives are identified, the purpose of the application, the quality of the content, that the activities are effective, and that their evaluation is potentially educational. And also take into account psychopedagogical criteria, such as accessibility, motivation, attention, interactivity or creativity of the platform. Once the benefits and virtues of the applications or educational resources have been recognized, we will have a list to deliver to our students to face the requested task, and be able to recommend the most appropriate ones judiciously. Once we propose to our students the activity, mind map, infographic, and it is carried out in different sessions, we find ourselves facing the definitive challenge: how to evaluate their visual thinking productions. Expose several examples of visual thinking of the students of primary education teaching of the University of Oviedo carried out in the subject, developing a curriculum of social sciences. The students had to present in the infographics the concept of curriculum with which they felt most identified. We can see in the images the different theoretical conceptions and the complexity and simplicity of the graphic construction, with the use of visual metaphors or ideograms and icons.
Finally, the link between design thinking and visual thinking is the comprehensibility of the teaching-learning process, working on the quality of the contents and usefulness. For this, the visualization, simplicity, brevity, and conciseness of the same must be interwoven, as well as a logical structure in order to offer the student's spirit of participation and the desired cognitive empathy.
The examples that we present are interesting, since we have students solve this task. Either through visual metaphors such as the tree representing the different levels of concretion of the curriculum, or through a conceptual visual map of the hierarchy of concepts. At another level of understanding, students develop a complex story, comic, where the characters, teachers and students, meet at IKEA, representing the technical curriculum. In order to assess the design of the infographics developed by the students of primary education teaching at the University of Oviedo, the infographics were submitted to analysis according to the general dimensions of characterization of learning media, syntactic, semantic and pragmatic, as indicated by the bibliography of experts. The information presented must be organized and consistent with the symbol system, as its content must be relevant and functional. Due to their multimedia nature, infographics must respond to criteria of interactivity, format, layout, significance, etc. As stated by Moreira in 2003 or Valero in 2001. Dimensions and indicators that can determine the quality of the design and that we have collected in a rubric, a tool similar to a checklist with Likert type estimation. In general terms, it supposes an adaptation of the criteria indicated by Valero in 2001. Next, I leave you reference works on the evaluation instruments mentioned. Thanks for your attention.